A lot of the reason why I tend to make the music that I make is because I feel that I'm an artist who is interested in mobility. I'm not interested in fitting into a particular model or a particular box. I think people are finally starting to kind of get the idea now of where my work is going. But for a long time, people have been trying to position me in these boxes or in these categories where, I have to fit into some sort of category just because I may look a certain way, or it could also be because of the type of music that I engage in and this sort of thing. Whereas it's never really been about the idea of genre for me. In fact, when I began listening to music at a very early age, I didn't know what genre of music I would listen to, but any music that I would listen to when I would turn the radio dial or I would go through my uncle's record collection, there would be all kinds of music that I would listen to. And as long as I liked it, this was something that I listened to. And so the way that I listen to music now, I've always felt that I should be able to listen to whatever I wanted to listen to without any kind of peer pressure or without any kind of feeling that I have to listen to a type of music just because I may look a certain way or something like that. But the other thing about it, which I think is more important, is the engagement with these different kinds of musics. Now, I've always wanted to be some kind of musician, but I was always open to performing many different kinds of music. I was a classical player for quite a long time. And then I was also sitting in at jazz jam sessions and a number of other things. And I was also participating in so-called free improvisation contests, as well as composing music. All of this is an extension of how I came up listening to music, where, in the same way that I can listen to whatever it is I wanted to listen to, I should be able to work in whatever field I would want to work in. It's not necessarily about trying to be different from anybody else. It's just really a logical extension of how I came up listening to music. As a Black composer, I feel like, I shouldn't have to be bound to one category. And in fact, a lot of the Black composers who came before me, they also interacted with this idea of mobility in the same way. I mean, we can go as far back as Duke Ellington, whose music is all encompassing across a very wide spectrum of media. Another example of this is Charles Mingus. Another example of this are several members of the Association for the Advancement of Creative Musicians, namely Anthony Braxton, Roscoe Mitchell, Wadada Leo Smith. They've all engaged in multiple mediums and yet were able to retain a distinct voice. I'm just trying to carry that tradition forward. I mean, I feel that as a child, I guess I'll call myself like a child or a descendant of the AACM. I think that the idea is to follow the thought of whoever you are and don't let any critic or don't let any group of listeners or anyone put you in a particular box and try to frame you as a person who only is able to do one thing just because of the color of your skin or music that you're inspired by. Like, one should feel like they should be able to listen to whatever it is they want to listen to play whatever it is they want to play, to experience whatever they want to experience, just like other people in the rest of the world get to experience all of these different musical models of collaboration and of composition. As a composer myself who has had to battle this whole thing, why is it okay for other people to engage in all of these other models of artistic expression, but not okay for me to do the same thing? These are the questions that all of these composers who I've mentioned, they've all had to struggle and go through this and to deal with, being pigeonholed into these categories. And each of these composers have uncompromisingly created such valuable work for a wide variety of mediums, and have done it so successfully. I like to think of myself as a person who's also following within that model of getting back to the term mobility. I'm not really interested in fitting into one particular model or ideal, based on what society says I have to do, but rather I can feel like I should be able to do what I want to do. I guess that's where this idea of diversity and practice comes in. That's what's at stake here with regards to the work that I'm doing. I guess I would say that there's an artistic diversity in terms of choice and in terms of agency and a number of other things that I like to engage myself in.